Hello everyone, we are going to do a tier list today. Everyone loves tier lists, especially me. We are going to rank the enemies. No bosses or mini bosses here. We're just going to rank the enemies and have a nice death based on kind of how annoying they are to fight, how tough they are. We're going to start, we'll go over our categories first. Let's start at the bottom here. We have the wet paper bag category, so not very tough at all. My cat is tougher. My cat really isn't that tough. Where did my health go? So that starts to get a little bit stronger. And then we have the please nerf category. So we've only got 4 categories here. Let's start with the blobby. They're not the toughest guys. They're kind of annoying. They do that little fake move and they come back at you. Yeah, I think you run into these guys in Act 2. I'm gonna say that we're gonna say my cat is tougher. They're not the easiest guys, not the hardest. They're kind of in the middle. This is the Bombard. You run into these ones in Act 5, they toss a little landmine at you. It's hard to really gauge this one because currently, at the time of recording this anyway, there's only one level with them. I don't think they're that hard though. I'm going to put them in here as well. I don't think they're that tough because you can just avoid those bombs really, for the most part. The flying books. These guys are in Act 1. Not very difficult, not much health. The only thing that's tricky about them is once they've spawned this little spike, or paper airplane, I guess is what it is, even if you kill them, that paper airplane will still hit you if you're close. They don't even have to shoot it. But they're not very tough. Pretty easy, you can kill a bunch of them really quick. We'll put them in the wet paper bag category. Now we have the Booma. These guys are tough. They got a decent amount of health. They have a couple different attacks. They have the big heat-seeking explosion attack, and then they have the straight across the screen attack. It can kind of catch off guard. These guys are tricky. I'm not going to put them in the please nerf category. Well, maybe. I think they probably end a lot of people's runs. You know what? We're gonna say that they're up here. They're probably one of the tougher enemies. Maybe not the toughest, but they're pretty tough. We have the crows. Not too difficult. Probably one of the easier enemies. I would say they're fast. That's about it. I'm going to say they're down here. Not very hard to fight. And now we have the demi-sim. I think that's what they're called anyway. Little pills that you run into in Act 3. And they're kind of tricky. So you got 3 different types. You got ones that are like the gold color. They shoot straight across the screen. Little explosion that'll just sit there. If you run into it, it'll blow up. That's what explosions do. And then they have one that floats in the air. It shoots straight down, does the same type of thing. You hit its little fire thingy and it will blow up. And then they have another one that is on the ground and it grows in size and has fangs, teeth, sharp looking teeth. They're not the hardest. I still don't think that they're up here. They're kind of easy to deal with, but I would say they're more annoying than these guys. I'm going to put them here in the my cat is tougher category. Pyro Ghost, I hardly even noticed that they exist. Maybe there's just few of them in the game, I don't know. But I barely ever see them. I'm going to put them here. I don't find them to be that difficult, personally. And then we have regular ghosts, which I think are actually tougher, because they have the ranged attack. These guys are in Act 1. And you know, they can shoot in different they can aim. That's the word we're looking for. They can aim their shots, right? So they're a little bit tougher than that. I'm going to put them, personally, I'm going to put them here. I think they're a little bit tougher. We have, these guys don't even have a name. They don't have health, really. You just hit them and they die, but they can hurt you. Pile of hands, pile of bony fingers. I don't know. They're going over here, though. They're the weakest in the game. And then we have the Heartbreaker. These guys are in Act 3, I think. And they explode when you hit them. Or kill them. When they're dying, they explode. And they also can kind of like throw a big punch at you. Not the hardest guys to deal with either. Not really they're not really that hard. I'm going to put them here. Right between the blobby and the bombara, because I think that they're not as annoying as these guys. These guys can be tricky. And now we have the Imposters. These guys are Act Act 4, and they're the jack-in-the-box looking dudes. They jump around. They are hard. They will punch you. They'll knock you around, and they can swing all over the place. Do lots of damage, very tanky. I'm putting them up here, and I think I've had to change the heart. I'm putting the Boomas down here. Because these guys are I find these guys significantly harder than Boomas. So Boomas are going to the where did my health go? And now we have the Nursurian. I think that's what they're called. Nursurian. I just call them doctors. These guys are insanely hard. And they have a lot of health. They do a lot of damage. They can teleport. They literally can teleport into the air. Right? So if you're fighting dudes that are up in the air, they can teleport up there and hit you up there even. They're tough. Arguably, probably, in my opinion, the toughest enemies in the game. And they will end your runs. So I'm putting them right up here. I think that they're the hardest to fight in the whole game. These dudes, the petrolls, I think it's probably meant to be petrolls. Act 2, and they're kind of annoying. They've got the big long reach, and they turn quickly. I'm surprised how quickly they can turn. They got a decent amount of health. Kind of a pain. Personally, I'm going to put them up here. I think that's a good spot for them. They can be a pain to fight. The sea glues, Act 2, and they throw 3 little projectiles at you, whatever direction they are facing at the time. Not very hard to fight, I don't think. I never have any major issues with them. Let's put them... I'm going to put them here. I think that I'd rather fight a sea glue than a flying book. And now we have the smokers. So Act 4, and they're a jumping cigarette. Essentially what they are. They're a jumping cigarette in a suit. That's all I can explain. They jump around and they poke you with their hot end. They do a lot of damage though, and they do jump around, and they got a decent amount of health. And I'm going to say that they're up here. I'm going to put them right here. I think they're more difficult than this dude. Not as annoying as this guy. And now we have the Splurties. So these dudes will shoot like just a little projectile at you, but it's surprising it will fly across the entire map, right? It'll hit you on the other side of the screen kind of thing. Not hard to deal with. They don't have much health, but they can fire at you and be annoying. I think that they're actually more annoying than... I'm going to say that I'm going to put them here. I'm going to put them right here. I think they're pretty annoying. Well, actually, no, here. Yeah, here. And then we have the Spooksman. First act, kind of tanky. They've got the triple punching combo. They have a spin move, right? So they're the hardest enemy to fight really in Act 1, just because of their health mostly. Kind of easy to read them, but they can be a pain. I would put them tied with the other dudes. I'm gonna put them here, right in here. These guys are all kind of the same, I would say. These guys are a little bit tougher, I think. Kind of a pain. And now we have Stormies. I honestly can't remember getting hit by a Stormy ever. I probably have. They're not very difficult. They're up in the air. They have a tell where they kind of get like little lightning around them, and then they fire 4 projectiles diagonally, right? So 1 in each direction diagonally. Not very hard to deal with at all. They have very, very little health. I get hit more by sea glues than them, so I'm going to put them here. Not very hard. And now we have the Sullied. So I believe the Sullied are the ones that are in Act 4, and they're kind of ramping up the ghost damage almost, right? A little bit more difficult. They also, I think, are the guys that will give enemies overshields. Right, so in Act 4, you kind of get guys that have what I think is a shield. A little bit tougher to deal with. These guys themselves aren't that difficult. I recommend focusing them down. I'm going to put them here, though. They're harder than the rest in this group. And then we have the Ulcer Monitor. These guys are the ones who will spawn another enemy. So they'll usually, I think it's Splurties that they spit out. Them themselves aren't that difficult, but the fact that they spit out a guy kind of a pain. Realistically, I'm going to put them here, though. They're not difficult to deal with. Veterans. So Act 5. I don't have a lot of experience. Again, just like the Bombard, they're right now at the time of recording, there's only one map, and then you fight the Act 5 boss. That's going to change in April. So they're tanky, and I believe if you hit the front, they are like the can that they're carrying. It's kind of works almost like a shield. Like they're much weaker to hit from behind, I think. Also, they'll explode. They will blow you up. I'm going to say that because I haven't fought them a ton, I feel like they're probably actually in the where did my health go category. You only fight like 1 or 2. And then you're fighting the boss right now. But I'm going to say that they're probably in here. I just don't have a ton of experience fighting them. But when you do fight them, they're fairly difficult. So that's it. We have a couple in the please nerf category. They've few in the where did my health go, a bunch in the my cat is tougher category, and the wet paper bag category, of course, is I think that's pretty accurate. These guys are all pretty weak. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, do all the good things. Thank you so much for all the support. Have a nice day, have a nice death, community. And I hope you have a nice day. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys.